Okay, good morning, students. Can you hear me clearly? Can you hear me clearly? Yes. Right, okay. So please switch on your cameras. Please switch on your camera. Right, okay. Today is the first day of this month. Right, so in the paper class, we have to start the question number 30. Yes. Last day we have started to discuss the Royal College second term 2024 paper. So I think already we have discussed first 30 questions. Am I correct? First 30 questions. Please switch on your cameras quickly. From where do we have to start? From 31. Okay. How many questions we have from 30, no? Right, good. Okay, right, come quickly the question. So look at the question. What is the resultant force acting on the object, right? What is the resultant force acting on the object? As object likewise, here applied 30 Newton force to this direction and here 10 Newton force and here is there to the 40 Newton. So how do we take the resultant force? Resultant force is, you can see that line, right here, the force that apply here 40 Newton and the sum of these two force is also 30 Newton plus 10 Newton. We can take it as a 40 Newton. What the direction? Right. Two forces act in opposite direction. Therefore, resultant force we can calculate it by 40 Newton for this direction plus, right, 40 Newton minus 40 Newton to the another direction. Then it's come to the 0. The resultant force is 0. The resultant force be a 0. Right? Both of the two force, magnitude of the two forces are same in both direction. Right? You can see that here is also the 40 Newton and here is also the 40 Newton. Both sides having the same magnitude but opposite direction. Right. Said that whether we have to discuss the 29 question also. Right, let's discuss about the it is also, right? 29 Hare, up to 29 and discuss. Right. Here is also 30. Come to the 31. Select the incorrect response regarding the following reaction. The chemical reaction is provide you HCl react with magnesium hydroxide. It's give MgCl2 plus water. Right, so you know that hydrochloric is an acid, magnesium hydroxide is a base. Magnesium hydroxide is a base. So acid react with base, we know that this kind of chemical reaction, we can say it as a, what is it? Neutralization reaction. We can call it neutralization reaction. It's an example for the neutralization reaction. So then, first question, acid-base neutralization reaction, first statement. Right, first statement is asking about the its acid-base neutralization reaction. Is it correct? Yes, it's correct, right? It's acid-base neutralization reaction. Second one, magnesium hydroxide is used to curb the acidity in stomach. Magnesium hydroxide is a base now, so you know that to production of milk of magnesia, it can use. Magnesium hydroxide is strong base. The third statement, above reaction is an exothermic reaction. So which one is incorrect out of this four? What do you think about your answer? What do you think about? Which one is wrong out of this? out of this is? Yes, what do you think? Which one is wrong? Fourth one, above reaction is exothermic. No, it's exothermic, no, acid-base reaction, no. It's exothermic. It's exothermic. Third one, magnesium hydroxide is not the strong base. It's a base, but not strong base, right? So therefore, the correct one should be the third answer for that question. Correct answer should be the third one for this question. Okay. And the next question, the following diagram show how biometric strips connected to an electric circuit. No, 32 is there. No. Select the correct response about food digestion. Select the correct statement about food digestion. The enzyme amylase digested protein. The enzyme amylase digested protein. Only mechanical digestion can be seen buccal cavity. Select the correct statement. Bile is not enzyme but useful for emulsification. Uh, Fourth one, all the enzyme needed for the food digestion activities only an acidic medium. So what do you think out of these four? What do you think about which one is a correct response? The enzyme amylase digests for protein. Is it correct, Lamai? Is it correct? So what is the purpose of amylase? Amylase is not right. Amylase is not the enzymes that involved to digest the protein, right? Digest the protein. Only mechanical digestions can be seen in buccal cavity. That statement is wrong, right? Chemical digestion is also happening, but it not in the more, right? Lokupramaniking venina. Bile is not an enzyme, but it is useful to emulsification. Yes, that is correct. Bile is not an enzyme, right? Bile is not an enzyme, right? It produced by liver and temporarily stored in the gallbladder, and this is important to the emulsification of lipid. So what do you mean by emulsification? Yes, the word of emulsification, what do we call? The emulsification is actually, right, lipids convert to the small droplets, right? Lipids convert to the small droplets. That is, we call it as a emulsification, right? Here we call it as a emulsification. Large lipid molecule, it convert to the small droplets. Podi කොටස් වලට කඩලා දානවා. මේකට අපි කියනවා මොකක්ද කියලාද? We call it as a emulsification. Right? Okay. We call it as emulsification. Right? Okay. Let's go to the next question. Right, what is the next one? The following diagram show the biometric strips connected in an electric circuit. In our today theory class, we discuss about the biometric strip, right? So here you can see that, right? What do you mean by biometric strips? Mean the metal strips, two different metal strips connected to each other. They are tightly connected to each other, right? It's using in electric circuit here using thermal expansion property. When we provide the heat, you know that with the metallic substances, most of the substances get heated, no, right? And due to the heating of this is it expanded. This expansion property is we are using, right, in electrical appliances, right? In electrical appliances specifically, we are using that is in electric iron, rice cooker, likewise. So those two metals has a different expansion property. Different expansion property. What do you mean by different expansion property? When we provide heat to each of the metal, so you know that due to the temperature get expanded, no, but their expanded property is not same. They are expanding in different dimensions, different length. That is, we call it as a different expansion property. Consider that A and B, right? A may be less expansion than to the B, right? In the same temperature. If we are provided the 80 degree of Celsius to the same metal, right? They get expanded, but their dimension increase in different amount. That's why we call it as a, right, different expansion properties. Got it the idea? So this is we are using in electric circuit. Got it the idea? Electric circuit is why you think about that when you are ironing cloth using the iron, right? When get heated the iron automatically switch off, right? Given the tick sound and switch off. So how it is happen? Here is having also the bimetallic strip. So you can see that whether in the place circuit is connected. So when get heated, the metallic strips curved outward likewise. Curved outward likewise. Right? Here is their switch. Right? Then it disconnected from the switch. Right? It bended curved outward likewise. Got it idea? So why? Because those two has a different expansion property. Those two has a sorry. Those two has a different expansion property. Due to this different expansion property, switch is automatically off. Why? Because sorry, disconnected from here, right? And other thing is when the temperature, when the heat is reduces, that means it's come to the temperature in the normal value, in the previous value, again it's come to their original position and connection start. Right, here is the simple way that activity of the bimetallic strips we will discuss further in our theory class today. Right, so answer the question 33 and 34 using the above diagram. Right, the purpose using the above control temperature. The purpose of the above to control the temperature in thermal equipment is to control the temperature automatically, to minimize the heat which produced occasionally. The part X is made by aluminium. The part X means that switch, not the switch, resistors, made by aluminium. All the response is incorrect. What is it? It's used actually to control the temperature automatically. Answer should be which one? What should be the answer? Form 33. It's a 2, the minimize heat. To minimize the heat which is produced occasionally. It's actually important to control the temperature. Temperature. Select the incorrect statement about the bimetallic strips. The linear expansion of the metal A and B are equal. The first statement already wrong. Why? In the bimetallic strips, the linear expansion of A and B two metals are, earlier I told that it's not equal. It's different. Due to the different properties, it bended, right? It's bended. That is the reason. Question number 35 come. Select the incorrect statement about the human reproduction. Zygote is produced by the fusion of sperms and ovum. Fertilization occur in uterus. Digestions of morula, sorry, disintegrations of morula in uterine wall is called implantation. Placenta exchange the material between the mother and child. So what do you think about that? So what do you think? What's the answer here? Right, what the answer? Select the incorrect statement about the human reproduction. Fertilization occur in uterus, no? Is it wrong? Why? Where to occur the fertilization? The fertilization process is occur upper regions of the fallopian tube. Upper regions of the fallopian tube. Right? එහෙ තමයි මේ වැඩේ වෙන්නේ upper region of the fallopian tube. Right? It's happened upper region of the fallopian tube. Write the polar compound. Water is a polar compound. The boiling point of water is very high. What is the reason for that? Why? Due to the dissimilar expansion of water in freezing, due to the solvent property of water, due to the strong intermolecular bond between the water molecules, and due to the control property of water. So what do you think? What's your answer? Can you put the chat box? In question number 36, what do you think? Asking about the What is the reason? Yes, why? Water is a polar compound. So why? What do you think? What will be the reason for that? Yes. The reason for, not the fourth one, due to the coolant property of water, no. Due to the strong intermolecular bond between the water molecule, having an intermolecular bond. So what do you mean by intermolecular bonds? You know that whether, right, water is a polar compound, no? Water. Consider the water molecule, it's a polar compound, right? Due to the polarity, you know that whether, right, here having covalent bond in between oxygen and hydrogen, here having covalent bond, it's a delta plus charge is there slightly due to the electronegative difference. It's a delta minus charge is there, right? Here is the Lewis structure of that, no, right? So then you can get the idea about when we consider the another water molecules, right? If we are consider the another water molecules, right? It's a delta plus charge is there. So you can see that in between two water molecules, it creates this special bond, right? This bond is, we call it as a intermolecular bond. We call it as an intermolecular bond. Due to these intermolecular bonds, water got get the very important features, right? The bonds that create in between two molecules, right? In between two molecules, right? You know that the bonds that create in between two molecules. That's why we call it as a it's a intermolecular bonds. Then ඒකයි පුතාලා අපි මේකට කියන්නේ intermolecular bonds කියලා. So due to this intermolecular bonds, right? Water has a very what are the important features? What are they? Right? What are they? Water has a high boiling point. Right? Water has a high boiling point. Right? Ilangata, what are the high specific heat capacity? High density that of the water. Right? Those are the properties that have in water. So answer should be question number 336. If a chemical reaction is an exothermic reaction, if a chemical reaction is an exothermic reaction, it's always absorb heat. The energy containing products are greater than the reactant. There are less exothermic reaction in nature than the endothermic reaction. The energy contained in products is less than the reactant due to the liberation of heat. What is it? If a chemical reaction is an exothermic reaction, it's always absorb heat. Chemical reaction is exothermic mean. What do you mean by exothermic? Right? Exothermic mean during that reaction, it's evolve the heat, right? Evolve the heat to the environment. That is, we call it as a exothermic. Example, acid-base neutralization reaction is also example for the exothermic reaction. So why? What is the reason that these become this evolve the heats to the environment? Reason that energy of the reactant is higher than to the energy of the product. Due to that energy difference, the excess energy released into the environment. This kind of reactions we call it as a exothermic reaction. We call it as an exothermic reaction. Got it idea? We call it as a exothermic reaction. Did you understand here? Right. So then what is the answer for this question? If a chemical reaction is exothermic reaction, it's always absorb heat. Wrong. The energy contained in product are greater than the reactant. No, it's also wrong, Lamai. Energy contained in reactant. Right? Remember that point. Reactant energy is larger than the energy. So how do we draw the energy diagrams in exothermic reaction? The axis is energy, kilojoule, right? So then here is the levels we can take. So it's a reactant Darwani and it's a product. So you have to put the arrowhead here during this is reactant energy release. Energy release. There is a less exothermic reactions in nature than the endothermic reaction. The energy contained in product is less than the reactant due to the liberation of heat. That is the answer. The energy contained product is less than the reactant due to the liberation of heat. Answer number 4 in question number 37. If you want to write anything else about that question, so quickly note down. So when we are discussing this kind of question, important, we are telling that the very important key points related to the each of the theory parts. So if you don't know that or anything else, if you are not remember at this moment, so what do you want to do that? Please note down the things, right? Please note down the things and right, just take your mind it, right? So you have only how many times period? Now we are in the 7th month. So you can see that whether in this time, right, in society, some people are saying that whether extend the A-level timetable, right? They are asking in the government, right? They forced the government to extend the which one? Advanced level exam. But here we can see that whether seems to be not happening like this. Not happening like this, right? A level පස්සට යන්නේ නෑ ළමයි. right? ඒකේ වාසිය අවාසි දෙකක් තියෙනවා. ඉතින් හරියට වැඩ කරපු ළමයට අතරම මේක අපහසුයි. මේක අපරාධයක්. A level පස්සට යනවා කියන්නේ ටාගට් එකකට වැඩ කරපු ළමයෙක්ට ඒක හරි අපරාධයක් වෙනවා. So therefore අන්තිමට අනිත් එක තමයි පෞද්ගලික my opinion is right exam එකක් පස්සට යන්න හොඳ. එකක් පස්සට ගියොත් එතනින් එහාට තියෙන සෙට් එකෙන් පස්සට යනවා. ඒක පස්සට ගියාම O level සති කීපයක් පස්සට යන්න පුළුවන්. ඊළඟට ඇඩ්වාන්ස් ලෙවල් ඉන්ටේක් එක පස්සට යන්න පුළුවන්. right? ඒක නිසා ඒව පස්සට යන එකක් නෑ. ඒව on time තියෙයි. right? එතකොට මේ ඊළඟට O level results එනවා පස්සට යනවා. යුනිවර්සිටි ඉන්ටේක් එක ඒ හැමදේම පස්සට යනවා. ඒ ඔක්කොම පස්සට යනවා කියන ළමයි අපේ ජීවිතේ අර කලින් කරන්න තියෙන දේවල් මොකක් හෝ දවසක් හෝ පස්සට යන එක තමයි වෙන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ අර එක දෙයක් නියතයිනේ. මැරෙන තියෙන දවස් වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැනේ. right? එතකොට අනිත් හැමදේම පස්සට යන්න පුළුවන්. right? ඒක නිසා ළමයි මේ ඒවා පස්සට යන්නේ නැහැ. so අපේ මගේ කතාව තමයි right ඔයාලට තියෙන්නේ කොච්චර මාස කීපද? 7 මේ ගෙවෙන්නේ 7 8 9 10 11. right? only 4 months right? ඉතාමත් කෙටි කාලයක් ඇතුළත theory class එකේ fully theory complete කරලා ඉවර කරනවා. right? එතකොට මේ ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ syllabus එක තව මාස දෙකක් වගේ යනකොට මම complete කරන්න තමයි plan එක. right? එතකොට syllabus එක ඉවර වෙනවා වැඩ කරන්න තමයි තියෙන්නේ. පරිවෙන්ටම වැඩ කරාට මේ papers yeah.
Sir, can you please send the paper to the group again?
Literally, tell me that.
Can you please send the paper again to the group?
Okay, I will share it. Right, I previously I shared that paper. That's why I didn't share it again. So I will share it. Right, so anyway, right, wait. Okay, most of the students, you don't have the paper, no? So, Aparada, you have to ask me. Wait, I will share that. Student, do you have the paper? Can you put the chat box? කවුරුහරි ගාව paper එක තියෙනවනේ chat එකට දාන්න. Wait. Right, okay. Right, okay. I shared it paper. So then I told that whether, right, do the work hard in this day, right? It's your time, right? It's your time. So therefore, right, it's your results. Therefore, you have to work hard to get the best results for your exam. Right, anyway, come to the next question. Question number 38. Select the correct statement about the photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is an energy given reaction. Photosynthesis is an energy given reaction. Asking about correct statement. So what do you think about photosynthesis is energy given reaction mean? Right, to do the photosynthesis, what do you think is needed to energy? Actually, we know that whether to do the photosynthesis, it's needed to energy taken by the sun, right? Energy taken by the suns. Therefore, we can get the idea about first statement is totally wrong. Green plants convert light energy into chemical energy. Green plants convert light energy into chemical energy. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. It's needed to maintain nitrogen cycle. No, right? The byproducts of the respiration and photosynthesis is carbon dioxide. Byproducts of the respiration and photosynthesis is carbon dioxide. Byproduct of the respiration and photosynthesis is carbon dioxide is wrong. Byproducts of the respiration is carbon dioxide. It's okay, but byproducts of the photosynthesis is oxygen gas. Oxygen gas, right? So you can see that statement, right? So understand that statement. They say that with the byproducts of the respiration, during the respiration as a byproduct, we are releasing carbon dioxide and water vapor, but during the photosynthesis, it produces glucose and oxygen gases. So we call it as oxygen is which one? Oxygen gas is a byproduct of the photosynthesis process, right? Question number 39. The technique which is used extraction of essential oil. Extraction of essential oil, yes, it's a steam distillation. Steam distillation. Select the incorrect statement about the microorganisms. Bacteria and fungi are two types of microorganisms. Yes, they belong to the two groups. They are useful for the decomposition process. Yes, they are important to decomposition. Microorganisms are used to bakery industry. Yes, we are using yeast in bakery industries. Right? Microorganisms cause more harmful effects to the man than the useful effects. It's wrong, right? More harmful effects than the useful effects. Wrong. It's given the harmful effects as well as the useful effects also, right? So you know that microorganisms we are using different kind of industries. No, in medicines, in bakery industry, right? Producing yogurt, cheese, curd, likewise, right? Milk related industries, co-industries, right? And for the environmental conservation also, we are using microorganisms. The technique we call it as a bioleaching, right? When it is having the light, what are they? Poisons things in the water surface, we can use the which one? We can use the microorganisms to remove that is also. Therefore, it's having more beneficial effects as well as the more harmful effects also, right? Right? It's balanced. So answer should be the fourth one. So okay. So already we have discussed 40 MCQs now in this paper, right? In first 29 questions we have discussed in last week, and today the remaining 40 is discussed that. So count your MCQ, right? Then just put how many answers correct out of the 40. How many answers correct out of the 40? Just put in the chat box, and then we can start our essay paper quickly. Yes, how many is correct? Can you put that, Malmi? Banuja, Tidula, Dulnara, Neat. Yes, how many? We have to go the next one. Rusheni. So, 29 questions we have to discuss now. Come to the 29th question. In 29th question, consider the following statement about the latent heat. The amount of energy which absorbed during the change of state without increasing the temperature, it's correct. And let's discuss about the latent heat also today theory class. The reason for not increasing the temperature when change the state occur. Usage absorb energy breaking the bond among the molecule. Not increasing the temperature when change the state occur is usage absorb. Yes, that is B is also correct. When evaporating, every liquid absorbs the latent heat and absorb latent heat release when condensations occur. All are correct. A, B, C. 29 not any. Answer number 3. 33. Good. Malmi is good, right? 33 is. Actually, yes, if you can reach the nearest to the 35 for the MCQ question, you are in good level, right? You are in very good level. Got it the idea? So if you can reach the answer for the 28. In 28 question, which covalent compound not have free electrons? Answer number 2. CH4. CH4. 27. Good. Right. If you can reach nearly 35, that is good, right? That is good. So the thing is, Lamai, if you have any doubtful things of this paper, then you can see that whether, right, after discussing this kind of paper, you can get the idea about, right, you can self-assess yourself, right, which part in the theory you are perfect and which parts of in your syllabus are not in perfect, right? You have the syllabus now already to complete the grade 10, right? And 50% of grade 11 is also already to completed, more than 50%. If you are staying second term, got it idea? So we are discussing also the second term test exam paper. Think about that, right? If the any questions is wrong, right, in when we discuss in the paper, right, the important thing is you can get the idea about that, which part is you are perfect in your syllabus and which part is not perfect. You can get the idea. You can do the self assessment yourself. You can analyze that, right? So then in every paper class you can see that whether what you want to do, that you can make the errors of yours in every paper class day. You can get the idea, today my discussion is wrong, that means there is some problem here. So what do you want to do that after end of the class, right? In the class you want to note down that whether what do you want to do that, right? You check that whether your paper and put the correct and wrong. So after end of the class, then you want to do that paper again. Got the idea? With your theory notes. You want to check the theory, you want to read the theory, and you want to make it again. If during this thing, if you have any doubtful things, then you can take the support from your teacher. Right? You can ask me in every time. Some students put the messages and ask me. So I give the help. Right? Some grade 10 students is also they are already ready. Some grade 10 students. Right? Send the message and asking about how do we take the answer for that question. So then I explain them to him. So you also want to do that. Got the idea? Don't waste the time. Everything you have to learn that. Okay, let's come to the another part. The structured essay paper. Come to the structured essay. In the first question, right? Let's keep that because it's coming from the biosphere. Right? Still, we didn't discuss the biosphere, no? Right. So look at the second question. Did you complete the second question? Just put the raise your hand. Those students, those who has complete this question, right? Okay. Right. Let's discuss about that. Look at this one. A huge number of organisms live on the earth Organisms exhibit certain biological characteristics during their lifetime, right? During their lifetime. Below is the setup, an experiment. Below is the setup, an experiment done to the show characteristic of living things. So here is the setup is there. What is expected from above test? So what is the purpose of this test? Yes, please put your answer. Why do we use this setup? Why do we use this setup? What is the expected from the above test? Yes, what do you think? It's a common activity in your textbook. Why do we use this is? Yes, what is the purpose doing this? What is the purpose doing this experiment? What do you think? Do you know that is? Yes, Roshani, what do you think? Why do we use that one? No idea about that? To prove the, yes, carbon dioxide exhaled during the respiration. To prove that during respiration, carbon dioxide gas is taken and oxygen is respiration, CO2 gas is taken in and oxygen gas is exhaled. Answer should be changed likewise. What is it? Demonstrate the demonstration of CO2 productions during the respiration. Right? So the carbon dioxide released during the respiration. Like that, right? You want to write the short answer. Bottle B and D in the diagrams, B and D in the diagrams contain same chemical liquids. What is it? What are the liquids? It's a lime water. Lime water. In B and D contain same liquid. It's a lime water. If it is correct, then put the 1 mark so the each of the question. What is the function of KOH solution? KOH के function ने कहा ना absorbing carbon dioxide gas. KOH can absorb the carbon dioxide. KOH can absorb the carbon dioxide gas. The respiratory system is adapted to carry out the human respiratory process. Human respiratory process. Respiratory surface are located for the respiratory gas exchange. What is the human respiratory surface? So what do you think the human respiratory surface mean? What is it, Lamai? Human respiratory surface? Yes, alveoli. Alveoli. It's alveoli. Good. It's alveoli. Human respiratory surface is alveoli. Write the features that a respiratory surface should be have efficiently gas exchange. What are they? There are some adaptations for efficiently gas exchange. What is it? What do you think? What are the things? Just any answer. Thin respiratory surface, it's moisture respiratory surface, highly vascularized. Likewise, so many things are given. Right? Those are the things. You can write it anything else. Right? Okay. Moisture Velatino, yes, we can take. Part B, come to the part B. Reproduction is a very important biological character for the continued existence of the biosphere. So, what is the reproduction? What is the reproduction mean? Yes, giving a new generation from existing generation. Simply, we can divide that. Giving a new generation from giving a new generation from existing generation. Existing generation. Question number 5. No, numbers is wrong. Numbers wrong. Here B, question number B, part 1. Question number B, part 2. What is the reproduction method? There are two methods. We know that one is sexual reproduction method. Another one, asexual. Sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Yes. In sexual reproductions, gamete formation takes place by meiosis. This meiosis process is shown below. Meiosis and mitosis. What is meiosis? Meiosis is one type of cell division. So what do we call? In during the meiosis, you can see that all the cells nucleus is divided and produce four daughter cells. Four daughter cells during the right. It's producing four daughter cells. That is we call it as a which one? That is we call it as a meiosis. It's producing four daughter cells. Here is the process. You can see that in two end cells is there. Then firstly, two end cells divided into right two end cells. Two end cells. It's divided into two end cells, and again it divide to write two importance of meiosis. Write two importance of meiosis. What are the importance? To maintain the number of chromosomes from generation to generation. Actually, that is very important, right? In human, having 23 pair of chromosomes. The number is constant in every generation to generation. Why? Due to the cell division process of meiosis. You can see that in two end cells mean it's having already to 46 chromosomes. That means 23 pair. Right? When it is divided to equal to, right, then it become to the 23, and then again these are divided into, you can see that 23 end cells. Sperms and ova is having 23. Imagine that whether it's a ova, it's having 23 chromosomes, and when it is fused with the sperm, you can see that whether zygote is formed, right? Here ova, sperms, both are the end cells. After fertilization occur, its form, you know that zygote. Zygote is 46. That means 2n. That means 2n. That means 2n. Correct? That means 2n. Zygote is 2n. 46. Right here the answer. Right here the thing. So that is the importance. So to maintain the constant number of chromosomes from generation to generation, this cell division process is important. Meiosis. To produce new generation is also, that means it's important for the evolutions also. To produce new variation, actually new generation the correct statement new variation, to produce new variation. Okay, right, your answer should be correct. It has a produce, not produce new generation, to produce new variation. It should be change it as a to produce new variation. To produce new variation. To produce new variation. To produce new variation. Right? To produce new variation to evolution. Perfect. Biological classification is the division of organisms into groups based on the common characteristic. Classification is made into two methods, right? We know that there are two classifications method in organisms. We call it as a natural classification and artificial classification, right? Who is the scientist introduced three domain classification system? What is the name of the scientist? Yes, name of the scientist. Who is the scientist that introduced the three domain classification system? The name of the scientist, Lamai. What do we call? Yes, please put the answer. The name of the classification scientist. Yes, no one. Carl was. Carl was. The name of the scientist is Carl was. Carl was. Name of the scientist is Carl was. A diagram of classification of plant is shown below. Fill in the blanks. Plant is there, right? Monocot and dicot, bearing seeds, not bearing seeds. There are two type of plants. Plants divided into, yes, what are they? Plants we can divide it into main two groups. In plant, yes, here belong to the which one? Kingdom Plantae. Plants belong to the kingdom Plantae, right? In kingdom Plantae, plant we can divide it into main two groups. Flowering plants and non-flowering plants. Flowering plants and non-flowering. Flowering and non-flowering. Flowering plants we can. What do you mean by A? A mean flowering, right? B mean non-flowering. Okay. The flowering plants we can divide it main two groups, monocot and dicot. Monocot and dicot. Non-flowering gathod, it's also we can divide it into two groups, bearing seeds, not bearing seeds. Here is the way, right? The next one, an incomplete diagrams of activity series is given below. Name X and Y. So what is the elements that having the activity series in their order? What are they? Potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium. Here should be aluminium and here should be iron. Right? මේ වගේ තව එක්කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා ඇති. Gold. එතකොට X mean aluminium, Y mean iron. Right. It's the answer for the question number 3A. Before that, right, can you put your answers in the previous question? Can you count your answer in previous question? In question number 2, count your answer. In every blank is given the 1 marks. Right? If you are writing, if the question is given to write the 2 reasons, that means it's included in 2 answers, then you can give the 2 marks. Right? We forgotten to count the marks for the previous question. 14, good. 14 is come from the 15, right? Out of the 15 is 14 super, right? Okay, let's go to the next question, right? Question number 3A. 10, like 14. Okay, right. Sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and so X is aluminium, Y is iron, Fe. Fe. Okay. Third one, part 2. Name the chemical method used extracted metal Y. Metal Y is actually asking about the chemical technical method, right? Itana, product pain in a honey. Not the chemical name, technical. Name the technical method. So what is the Y? Y mean which one? Iron, no. So what is the extraction of method? Iron. The technical method asking about. Yes, what do we call? What is the technical method that we are using extracted the iron? Yes, what do we? Tell me your answer, Laman. The technical method. We are using blast furnace, right? We are using blast furnace. So what's your answer? No one else. Reduce their components. Yes, good. Reduce their compounds, right? Reduce their compound. So that means what are the raw materials that we are using? Hematite, right? Hematite. Hematite is a main raw materials that we are using for the production of iron, right? Hematite, we call it as a hematite. Hematite mean lamai Fe2O3. Fe2O3. Activity series. Explain करो. Okay, I will explain that. Right, hematite. මම question එක discuss කළා අපෝ activity series එක ගැන පොඩි summary එකක් දෙන්න. Right? එතකොට හරිනේ hematite. Asking about that, the special type of can you read the question lamai? කොටස් හැල්ලා නේද? Special type of clean used to extraction. No. What is this clean? Right? මේකට අපි කියනවා මොකද්ද? Blast furnace. Blast furnace. Which chemical compound Y should be added to the clean for extracting Y? Asking about which chemical compound අපි නිකන් මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ එතන පොඩ්ඩක් clear මදි. But what are the things we are adding? Here is the hematite. Hematite mean the way that iron is having in the nature, it's hematite. So for this is we are using the another raw materials. What are they? Limestone and coke. Limestone and coke. Coke. C-O-K-E, coke. Coke mean carbon. C-O-C-E, coke. Not the C-O-C-E, C-O-K-E, coke. Carbon we are using. Which chemical, the part C, few chemical reactions which happen in above clean are given below. Fill the blanks and the balance these reactions. මේ ප්‍රශ්න ටිකක් ක්ලියර් මදි ඒ කියන්නේ. මේවා අර ඔරිජිනල් පේපර් එකම නෙමෙයිනේ අපිට හම්බෙන්නේ. Right, අපි ගමු. එතකොට ගත්තොතින් here you know that with the raw materials needed Fe2O3 calcium carbonate limestone and coal, right? හරිද? එතකොට අපි ගත්තොතින් first one here the first reaction the carbon actually we want to write the balanced chemical equations, no? Carbon react with oxygen inside the blast furnace, it produce carbon dioxide. So to do this reaction actually we have to maintain the temperature in about 1000 degree of Celsius to 1900 degree of Celsius. 1900 degree of Celsius we have to maintain inside the blast furnace, right? It's not small temperature, it's a too higher temperature, right? The blast furnace is made by the bricks, it's about 60-meter height. 60-meter height is there, it's made by the bricks. Bricks වලින් හදලා තියෙන මෙන්න මේ වගේ කෙනෙක්. Right, anyway, we'll see the reaction. Carbon react with oxygen, it produce carbon dioxide. Second one, carbon dioxide again react with carbon. Its form, what are they? Its form lamai carbon monoxide. The carbon monoxide gas is important to reduction of hematite. Carbon monoxide is important. That's why we want to make the carbon monoxide inside the blast furnace, right? So then it should be balanced, right? So how do we balance that? Sorry. Sorry. Count the number of elements both of side. One carbon atom, one carbon atom. Sorry, not one, two. One carbon dioxide coming from the carbon and coke. Then in the reactant side having two carbon, in the product side having one carbon. In the reactant side having two oxygen, in the product side having one oxygen. So what do we want to do that to balance that? To balance this one, right? It's easy to add in two to the as a coefficient of the carbon monoxide. So then it's already to balance, right? The second one is what is the third equation? This carbon monoxide react with lamai hematite. Hematite it producing iron plus carbon dioxide. It produces iron and carbon dioxide. Got it? Yeah. Here 2, here 1, here 3. So here we want to put the 2. Fourth one, already 2, right? Iron extracted here. In here having calcium carbonate, it's a limestone, right? Calcium carbonate decomposed to the calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. Calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. Here is the reaction, right? So then if you have complete correctly for these two reactions, you can take the 2 marks. You receive the 2 marks. Not 2 marks, right? 3 marks. Here is the 1 mark. For the 1 mark given from the second equation, 2 marks given from the third equation. Here is the way. Right. After complete this question, I will explain to you about, give the summary of the activities areas, right? Just explain that you can make the summary related to this one. Okay, now let's come to the another question. So what is the another question is, the rate at which the chemical reactions occur varies. Some reactions are fast and some reactions slow. Write the 2 factors that affect the rate of chemical reaction. What are the factors that affect the rate of reaction? Not only 2, we have learned that few of the factors that are important to the chemical reactions. What are they? What are the factors that have it? Right? Physical nature of the reactant, first one. Physical nature. Second one, Second one, right? Pressure, temperature. Third one, concentration. Physical nature, temperature, concentration, right? Catalyst, which catalyst? Presence or absence of catalyst. If the gases reactant, pressure also directly improves. Those are the factors that affect the rate of reaction. Out of this, right? Any two you have written, then take the 2 marks, right? Give the 2 marks for them. Right? The next question, here's the experiment, here's there, right? You can see that it using acidified KMnO4, each of the test tube having acidified KMnO4. Here is also having acidified KMnO4, but the thing is here having heated acidified KMnO4. Right, here having normal acidified KMnO4, both of two you can see that having iron nails. Iron nails is there. Okay, above given is apparatus to test the efficiency of certain factors on reaction speed. What factor is tested here? Did you give the answer for this question? Just put the raise your hand, students, all ready to complete that question. Yes, tell me that. Right, please tell me that. If you are not complete, sir, I will give the 2 minutes you. Right, you have 3 questions here. Right, can you put the answer quickly? Right, so then you can get the idea about your knowledge. Quickly do that. Right, within 2 minutes, do it quickly. Okay, we'll see that. So, what is the factors that here considered that? Right, above given apparatus. Above given apparatus, the so reaction speed, what is the tested here? So what do you think? You answer? Yes, please put here answer. How temperature affect the rate of reaction? Yes, Leonie, correct that. Right, in this activity, right, the testing that whether how to temperature affect the rate of reaction. Rate of reaction. When you are writing the answer, actually, very important thing is, right, then perfectly you want to write the key points. What are the thing should be included in your answer. Here the temperature is affected to the rate of reaction. Right, expected results in this activity. So what is the expected results? The observation of this activity is, we can see that whether when just put the potassium permanganate, acidified potassium permanganate with the iron nails, right, here is the clean iron nails. So what expected results is the color of the acidified potassium permanganate decolorized, right? Acidified potassium permanganate. Now, potassium permanganate colors is a purple color, no? So when just put the nails color of the potassium permanganate is decolorized. But the thing is, Lamai, here important thing is, right? Both of the test tube potassium permanganate get decolorized, but the time taken here is a very important factor. The time taken to decolorize the potassium permanganate in the test tube A and B are not same. Why? Why? When we are using the heated potassium permanganate, in the test tube that having heated potassium permanganate, right, it takes the less time to decolorize the acidified potassium permanganate. So how do we do this experiment? Right, when just mix to these two reactant, we need to start the stopwatch. That means we want to measure the time. So we can observe that whether both of the two, the color of the acidified potassium permanganate decolorized, but the thing is the time taken to decolorize the acidified potassium permanganate are the not the same. It's other differ. The different thing is, when it is having heated one, it take the less time than to the normal, that means normal acidified potassium permanganate. So this experiment demonstrated that whether temperature is the factors directly affect the rate of the chemical reaction. When increasing the temperature, what will happen? When increasing the temperature, rate of the reaction is also increased. Temperature is the factor directly influence the rate of the chemical reaction. Here is the thing, right? Here is the thing. Write the expected results of the activity. Right? Expected results is, right, what is it? Then your answer should be, right, decolorize the potassium permanganate of the heated test tube, decolorize fastly, quickly than to the another one. It should be the answer. Sure, answer should be short, right? Purple color potassium permanganate disappear faster in hot solution compared to the, yes, your answer is correct. Leon is correct, right? Purple color potassium permanganate disappear fast in hot solution compared to the common of a solution at the room temperature. It's correct. Okay. Right. You answer right. Then you can write the short answer, right? Which one? Take the less time to decolorize the potassium permanganate in heated one than to the another one. Right. ඒ වගේ short answer එකක් ලියවන ඇති. State the reason for observation. So why? What is the reason? Here, yes, temperature is the factors increase the rate of chemical reaction. Temperature is the factors. Temperature is the factors. Right, so how to affect the temperature, Lamai? Right, when it a higher temperature, you know that whether the kinetic energy of the reacting particles greater, right? The reason for, right, reason for when the temperature goes up, right, the observation is taken to the quickly, Lamai, right? When the temperature goes up mean the kinetic energy of the reactant particles goes up. Kinetic energy of the reactant particles goes up. Normally, the kinetic energy of the reactant particles goes up. As a result of this is due to the increase of the kinetic energy of the reactant particle, Lamai. So what happened to it? Right? What happened to it? Number of collisions occur per the unit time is increases, right? Due to the increases of the kinetic energy, the reactant particle, right, number of collisions is occur. That is the reason for, right, here is the reason for increase the rate of the reaction. Collisions occur for the unit time. In unit time having higher number of collisions. Those are the reason. Name the catalyst or inhibitor that use in the below instances, production of ammonia using the labor process. Name the catalyst or inhibitors. Fine. So what do you mean by catalyst, Lamai? Catalyst mean the substances, right? Catalysts are the substance. If you don't know that the catalyst, right, listen to me, right, get the idea about very clearly. Catalysts are the substances that can be used to increase the rate of chemical reaction, right? So the important thing is during the chemical reactions, right, the catalysts are not used. That means they are chemically, it's not involved. Chemically catalysts are not used, right? Not change in their chemical nature. Chemically catalyst not change, but can be changed the physical. If you put the solid catalyst, finally it will be the liquid, right? So catalyst physical nature can be changed, but it's not chemically consumed during the reaction. Here you want to understand that about the catalyst, right? Catalysts are the substances that increase the rate of reactions without being chemically consumed. Without being chemically consumed, we call it as a without being chemically consumed during the reaction. So as the same, right, we can use the catalyst in the different industries, right? In the world, catalysts are useful in different industries during the production of different substances, right? Few of the industries is given in your syllabus. You want to remember that things and the what are the catalysts used in that of the which one industries. Example: Haber process in ammonia. Haber process, production of ammonia, production method is we call it as a Haber process. In that process, using catalyst we call it as porous iron. The catalyst that use we call it as a porous iron. Porous iron. Porous iron used in Haber process, right? Porous iron. Used porous iron, right? Next one. Here use in manufacturing ammonia, right? Manufacturing NH3. Manufacturing ammonia. The another one, right? Contact method, manufacturing sulfuric acid. Manufacturing sulfuric acid. It's used the catalyst vanadium pentoxide. Vanadium pentoxide. V2O5. Vanadium pentoxide. Right? Manufacturing nitric acid. Manufacturing HNO3, manufacturing HNO3, not the, yes, it's used to the platinum. Right, likewise industry is there, right? Another industry, manufacturing margarine. Manufacturing margarine, it's used the nickel. Manufacturing margarine, use the nickel. Right, those are the industries, right? So, right, if you don't know that, then just the note down. Okay, anyway. Right? Name the catalyst or inhibitors that used below instances. Production of ammonia used in Haber process. Catalyst එකක් use කරනවා. Which one? The catalyst. What the catalyst we are using? The catalyst that we are using, we call it as a porous iron. Decrease in the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide. So what do we mean by inhibitor? Inhibitor mean as a catalyst, right? We can use the inhibitors is also. The inhibitors mean, give me the 1 second. Right, inhibitors mean, so what are the inhibitors? Actually, inhibitors is the substances that decrease the rate of reaction, right? Decrease the rate of reaction. So, like sulfuric acid, decrease in decomposition of decomposition of hydrogen peroxide, we can use the few drops of sulfuric acid. few drops of sulfuric acid. Hydrogen peroxide means H2O2. It's decomposed to the H2 and O2, right? So when just added the sulfuric acid, the rate of the decomposition is reduces. So therefore, here we are using sulfuric acid is a, what are they? Sulfuric acid is inhibitors. We can take it sulfuric acid as an inhibitor. Got the idea? Right, here is the answer. So, okay, right, already we have discussed that question also. Please count your marks. Please count your mark and put the how many marks you have obtained out of the 15. It's easy question, right? It's easy question, but we have discussed good theory part. Right, then let's discuss about, I will give the few summary of the activity series. Right, all of the students, I think it will be help you, right? Just summary of the activity series. So therefore, note down. I will explain to you here. Right, yes, put your answer 14, 10, right, 14 good, 10 is also good. Right, so how was the marks for another one? Didn't you do that? Yes, Banucha, are you sleeping? No. Malmi? Ah, Malmi is given that. Amani? Nishuban? Inhibitor is also the activation like same. No, not reacted, not changing the chemical. Good. Netini? Nethil, please switch on the cameras. Don't sleep. Rehan. Okay, right. Let's discuss about the reactivity series. So, what do you mean by reactivity series? Firstly, right, reactivity series is, we can say it as an arrangement of, right, arrangement of the metal. Arrangement of metals in the descending order. In the descending order of their reactivity is referred as reactivity series. What are the elements that belong here? Right, the elements potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, iron, tin, lead, copper, mercury, silver, platinum, gold. Right, here is the hydrogen, right? Hydrogen is also there, but I didn't write the hydrogen also. Right, hydrogen is coming. Where to come the hydrogen, Lamai? Right, in reactivity series, the metal hydrogen also having, okay. I'm going to just do the summary now. In these regions, it's coming hydrogen, right? Is the place that hydrogen. So here, when we consider that whether these metals, the reactivity of the metals is increases likewise. Here is the way that increase the reactivity. Right? What is it? Let's write reactivity increases. Increase order. Increase order of the reactivity. Right? From metals potassium to aluminium. If we consider the metals potassium to aluminium, right, we call it as a highly reactive metals. These metals actually we call it as a highly reactive, right? We can name it metals with high reactive, right? We call it as a metals with high reactive. Right? If you want, then make this small note, right? Metals with high reactivity, right? These metals, this set of metals can be extracted by can be extracted by electrolysis of fused solution. Electrolysis of fused solution. We can take it from zinc to copper. Consider that. So that's why I actually didn't put the hydrogen. You want to get that here having hydrogen also. Right? I draw that in another side. Hydrogen is there. Right? From metals iron to copper, we take the metals with mid reactive. Metals with mid reactive. So so how do we extract these metals? These metals extracted by heating with reducing agent like carbon or carbon monoxide. You know that whether we are using carbon monoxide for the extraction of iron, right? Then another sets of the metals, mercury to gold. Mercury to gold we call it as a metals with low reactive. We call it as a metals with low reactive. Did you understand? Metals with low reactive, right? So how do we extracted this? These metals actually having in nature as a pure form. So therefore we can use the physical method present in pure form on the earth. Present in pure form on the earth, right? Present in pure form on the earth. Therefore, this kind of metals actually we can separate by using the physical method. Physical method, right? We can use the physical method to separate this kind of method. Here is the things you want to understand about the reactivity series, right? It's not the complete reactivity series. In your syllabus, actually having part of the reactivity series, no, right? Here are the things. So, what are the importance that it having in that reactivity series? The importance that having in the reactivity series. What do you think about that? There are importance of this reactivity series. Right, is it clear? Right. The importance, let's write the importance of the reactivity series. We can say it the uses of reactivity series. Uses of reactivity series. What are the uses? It can use different method. One is to find the method to produce metal from, right? Find to method to protect. Find method to protect. Find method to protect metals from corrosion. So the meaning of this sentence, actually you can get the well about that after doing the lesson electrolysis, electrochemistry part, right, in your syllabus, right? So when the metals we contact with the metals at the higher activity, right, actually in the situation the metals is protected with the rusting. So we call it as this phenomenon is a cathodic protection, right? We will discuss in our upcoming lesson, right? So just remember that point. I will explain the meaning of that point so you can feel that whether you can get the idea about that. What is the meaning of that lesson? What is the meaning of this statement in well in that lesson? Now just remember that. Now I am not going to explain more, right? Theoretically, what happened to here, right? Just remember that if we can use find the method to protect the metal from corrosions, right? Corrosions. Here is the one of the users. What is the another users? The another users select the metals for the electrochemical cells. Select the method. Select the method for electrochemical cells. Third one, to decide method suitable extractor. Right? One of the few of the users. But if you want, just quickly write that. So now metals can be extracted by electrolysis of fused solution, right? Heat in with reducing agent, physical method. Physical method.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
What is the meaning of extraction by fused solution?
So what do you mean by fused solution? The solution, right? So you know that Darune, solutions we can make in two ways in the chemistry, right? In the laboratory we can prepare the what do you mean by solution? That means liquids, right? So one thing is we can mix with the water and we can dissolve it with the water. Take the example sugar, that are salt. When you add the water to the sugar, right, it's also dissolved into the water. That is, we call it as a solution. We call it as a which solution? Aqueous solution, right? We call it as a aqueous solution. And another method that we can use to convert sugar to the liquid state, we can heat the sugar up to their melting point, right? We can heat to their up we can heat it there up to their melting point. When it is heat up to their melting point, the solid substances is become to the liquid substances, right? Solid one become to the liquid substances. That is also the liquid state. No? In that liquid state, only having sugar, not dissolved water. In aqueous solution, having water, but in that state only having the sugar, but here state is liquid. That is, we call it as a fused state. Got it? That any of the substances, if we have heated up to their melting temperature, the solid become to the liquid. Just take the paraffin when you are lighting the like what do we call itipandama. So then you can see that their wax is become to the melt, and after that, after like after later, so we can see that whether again that perfume becomes solid, right? So that is melting. If any of the substance, any of the substances of their melting temperature, they become liquid. In that situation, it's a pure form. That means only having that given substances. That's why we call it as a fused solution. Not the solution, fused substances, fused state. We call it as a fused state. If it is added to the water, we call it as an aqueous solution. Here's the meaning of the difference. Did you understand here? The next thing, what are the factors that consider to based on the activity series, right? Factors that based on the activity series. මේකත් ලියන්න ඊළඟ ප්‍රශ්නෙට. Factors that based on activity series. What are they? First one, the first factor is actually reduction of metals with air and oxygen. Reaction of metals. Reaction of metals. Reactions of metals with air and oxygen. Oxygen. Second one, reaction of metals with water. Reaction of metals with water. Third one, reaction of metal with dilute acid. Reaction of metals with diluted acid. Actually, these three factors consider. Right, 31. Let's go to after the next question. Okay, now I think you wrote it and I think you got the idea about that. Now let's go to our next question. Right, the next question. Question number 4, right? Question number 4. Come to the question number 4. It's a structured essay question. Two sound waves from emitted by the sound source at two different instances are given below, you can see that whether amplitude is given by, give me the 1 second, my camera switch off, give me the 1 second. Okay, come to the question. Two sound waves from emitted sound source at the two different instances are given below. Amplitude is given, right? Which waves graph vibrate and high frequency, right? So which one? In the A or B, what do you think? What do you think? Please put your answer into the chat box. Put your answer to the chat box. Which one out of these two, Rehan? What do you think? Figure A. Is it correct? Figure A? Yes. Figure A. Yes, figure A. Which waves on the graph vibrate high frequency? It's a figure A. The next one, calculate the frequency of the graph A. So how do we calculate graph A? Right? So frequencies, we know that whether we have learned that frequency is divided by 1 over T. Frequency is equal 1 over T. That means reciprocal of the periods, right? So then in the graph, you can see that whether T we can take period is taken to the 4 second. It's taken to the 4 second. So how do we take that? Look at the time axis in the graph. It's taken to the 4 second to complete the one period. You can see that it's 2, 4. Likewise, here is the there. Right? It's taken to the 4 second and here is 8. So you can see that whether in amplitude is 0.4, it's taken to 4 second to complete the which one? Complete the time taken to complete the oscillation. Right? We call therefore period is capital T. So F equal 1 over T, the reciprocal of the, so T is 4, right? Then it's come to the 0.25. What is the unit? Right? The unit of the frequency, we said it as a hertz. It's 0.25, right? 0.25. The next one asking about what is the question? So you want to give the 2 marks for this calculation. Write the characteristic of sound waves with amplitude. Various with amplitude. Sound the characters of what is it? It's a loudness. Loudness. Due to the change of the amplitude, right? It's changed the loudness of the sound characters. Sound can be produced by question number 4. Sound can be produced by vibrating string. Write the two musical instruments that produce sound by strings. We know that no, with guitar, violin, sitar, mandolin, any of the things. Write the factors affected frequency of the string instrument. What is it? It's a tension. Tension of the strings. Tension of the string. String tension. Tension of the string. Tension of the strings is affected. Right? Tension. Come to the part B. There are 3 Newton's laws about force. Write the Newton third law. It's easy now. Any reaction has equal and opposite reactions. We can say it is the third law of the Newton. Right. So asking about the 2 instances when the Newton's second law applied. So what are the 2 instances? Quickly tell me that answers. The instances that Newton's second law apply. Yes. Instances that Newton's second law apply. What are they? Right. When you are something pushing, we can take it like pushing. The good example, kicking a ball. Swimming is Newton's third law. Question is asking about write the 2 instances where Newton's second law can be applied. Newton's second law. What are the instances that we apply the Newton's second law? Not the third law, right? So that means we have to give the force. Right? When we give the force, then object accelerated. Kicking the ball, like football, when you are pushing the supermarket trolley, the instances, that is also we are applying the force and then likewise start motion, likewise. Right? The force is proportional to the which one? Right? Force depend on the proportional to the, again, acceleration is directly proportional to the force, right? And inversely proportional to their mass. We know that. So those are the example. Right? You can write kicking a football, likewise, anything. Right? There are a lot of answers. Neither pushing a shopping trolley, likewise. Find the force required to create the acceleration 0.25. Object is 16 kilogram. Easy question. F equal, you want to put that F equal ma. So the mass is, you know that here is given 16 kilogram and acceleration is about 0.25. So then you can simplify your answer, you can take easily. So what is the final answer? After do the simplification, your final answer would be 0.25 into 16. It's about 4 Newton. It's about 4 Newton. You can do the multiplication, then it will come. Part C. Come to the question, part C, Roman number 1. You can see that whether there is a object on the surface, it's given to the 7 Newton force for this direction and 13 Newton force to here. The above diagrams represent an object with a force acting on it. This object remains still equilibrium of the surface. Find the force created by the surface. Here is there to the F naught is also. You can see that F naught force is there. Asking the first one, find the force F naught created by the surface, right? So may incidence again. What do you think about that? The above diagram represent an object with force acting on it. This object remain still in equilibrium on the surface. So you want to underline that word. This object remain still in the equilibrium on the surface. That means you can see that even it is having 2 forces already. We can see that here having 13 Newton and here having 17 Newton. So then anyway, if any 2 forces is having, just here said that whether it not moving, right? That means the resultant force should be 0, right? Or Not moving mean resultant force should be 0 or right larger than to the forces that having the yes resultant force should be 0. So then how do we find, right? So how do we find? We can take that force may balana, right? We can make the formula 13 Newton force for this direction is equal, right, 7 Newton plus F naught Newton in a F naught for this direction. Because my resultant is 0, no? That's why I make it as the equation. Right, that F naught equal 13 minus 7. 13 minus 7 mean, what is it? 6 Newton. It's a 6 Newton. Final answer should be 6 Newton. Right, 6 Newton. Second one. What is the name given force applied by surface prevent relative motion? What do we call? Right? What is the force? Yes, friction. We call it as a friction. Friction force. Which kind of frictions having in this situation? Friction force is enough for your answer. But what is the type of friction? It's actually static friction. It's a static friction. Come to the third one of that question. Write two factors on the force mentioned above. Write two factors. What are they? The friction dependent factors, the force. Yes, what are they? The one is the nature of the contact surface. The nature of the contact surface. Another one is, what is it? Normal reaction. One is nature of contact surface. Next one, normal reaction. Right, nature of the contact surface. The another one is normal reaction. Right, anyway, those are the things, right? Okay, so here is also the complete, right? It's if you are write this two reason, then you can get the 2 marks, and to find the like if not value, it's given 1 mark. At mecher just you can find it simply, and here is also 1 mark, right? And part B, in here by applying the F equal ma with correct unit, you can get the 2 marks, and writing the 2 reasons, you can get the 2 marks, and writing the Newton third law, you can receive the 1 marks, right? Okay, anyway, we have complete that questions also. Then count the marks you have out of the 15, and then already we have discussed in 3 structured essay question in this paper. For the 3 structured essay, total mark is 45. So then just put your answers in, put your box, how many marks you have obtained out of this 45. 45 වලින් ඔයා කීයක් ලකුණු වාට තියනවද කියන එක පොඩක් chat එකට දාගෙන යමු. Right, so next day we will discuss the essay part of this paper, and in this week I share the new second term related paper. Right, please complete that paper before the class. So next day my plan is complete that paper. So today usually we will hold our theory class at the 7:30. You can join our theory classes also, right, at the same time, and we are continue the lesson Lesson number, I forget the number, the heat. Most of the schools beginning the term test the second or third week of this month. So we need to complete the lessons, right? So important thing is we are not posting the tute, actually grade 11 tutes in this month, right? So then we want to do the like we want to do the revisions and we want to do the theories quickly. Therefore, I am not sharing the not posting the PDF. Sorry, tutes in your doorstep in this month. So within this time period, we want to complete the everything. Somebody 13th or 15th, I think the term test. Again, second week wage patangani. Science තියෙන්නේ කවදා සමහරුගේ 9th උත් පටන් ගන්නවා. So what is the date of science? අපි මේ ටික කරගෙන යමු ළමයි. Right, okay. So how many marks you have got it out of the 45? Yes. Right, good. 36 out of the 45. Super. $35. Good. 36, 35. Right, okay. Students, let's stop the class now and see you on the theory class. Okay, goodbye to all. 39. Good.